Well, like Congress dinks around with our government shutdown possibility, Moody's Investor Services has lowered the U.S. credit rating outlook from stable to negative. What does that mean for you? Well, for starters, less faith in the government credit system could cost you even more to borrow the same money. The last time Moody's lowered the outlook to negative was back in 2011, where it remained until 2013 when it was reverted to stable. Now, no surprise, White House Press Secretary KJP rejected the decision, even though she has no play in it, calling the shift, quote, yet another consequence of congressional Republican extremism and dysfunction. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's it. In fact, didn't Joe Biden say he was unwilling to compromise on any budgetary items? Maybe the new low rating is because of your precious Bidenomics. Just isn't working. Joining me now to discuss, global business consultant Hilary Fordwich and former Trump senior economic advisor Stephen Moore. Hilary, what the heck is Bidenomics, and why do they keep touting its success if everything that they do comes out bad?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Great to be on with you again, Carl, and with Steve. A few things here. Yeah, this is absolutely ghastly. As much as anything, it's a huge embarrassment for the U.S. right when Biden is about to be meeting, as you mentioned earlier, in the cleaned up San Francisco with Xi Jinping. I will say one thing. He is hoping to close some deal where the Chinese will buy a bunch of Boeings. The Saudis just have bought 92 Boeings. So that's good news for the U.S. So let's start on a positive note. But what's really bad is obviously interest rates are up. Jerome Powell's raised interest rates, not just recently, but more quickly with 12 raises over the last 2 years. The interest on our national debt is $184 billion. Now, for Americans, our audience, let's put that in perspective. Do you know the entire Department of Defense only spends $49 billion? It's more than Medicare. It's more than Social Security. This is ghastly.
Jesus.
It is the interest on our national debt. That is what American taxpayer dollars are going on.
Yeah, no, 100. Steve, Americans say that they're worse off under Biden now, yet they continue to blame everything on Republicans. Like, at some point, people just have to landslide away from the Democratic Party.
Well, you would think so. I mean, let's just look at the interest rates we were just talking about. Let's not forget that the interest rate on the government bonds was about 2 or 3% when Trump was president. Now we're paying 5 or 6%, just like the mortgage rates. Carl, we talked about this last week on your show, that the mortgage rate was 3% under Trump, and now it's almost 8% under Biden. And that's put incredible financial stress, what I call is a financial squeeze on middle-class American. By the way, that same poll you just mentioned, I think it was only 14% of Americans say that Biden is doing a good job in the economy. Those are dreadful numbers. Those are worse than the numbers that Jimmy Carter had when Ronald Reagan won 42 states.
That's worse than Congress has, which is like 18%. So that bar's pretty much on the floor. So, Hilary, former CNN White House correspondent John Harwood taking to Twitter to declare that journalists need to, quote, better convey Biden's success. So it's not that his policies suck. It's that they're not doing a good enough job explaining why they're good for the American people that can't afford gas.
Well, actually, I suggest that instead what we should do is ask everybody, just like Reagan did, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? That solves the whole issue. Absolutely not. And those 14% that think it's good, I'd like to meet them. Why on earth do they think so? That's a conundrum.
Steve, less than a minute left. Do you see a pathway out of this for Biden in the next year, or are we just going to have to wait till Trump brings it home in 24?
I was just going to say, there is a path to getting out of this crisis. His name is Donald J. Trump. And, I'm going to see him actually in a few days up in Mar-a-Lago. And we're going to talk about how we can get this economy. And, a lot of it's just reversing, Carl, the policies that Biden has put into effect. And just let's get drilling again. Let's secure the border again. Let's cut taxes, the things that we know work.
Yeah, well, the heck with Build Back Better. Just put it back the way you found it. Hilary, Stephen, always a pleasure.